Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give Koholo Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. Forgive it, Slakia, for giving me the spirit and power to do this lesson. All right, what we're going to touch on today, out here being in the elements, all praises to the Most High God. It's the Feast of Tabernacles. We out here keeping it to the best way we know how. It's a beautiful thing to be out here in the midst of the elements, man. And, being able to enjoy the Most High God's creations. Just despite the bugs biting us, the spiders crawling on you, the ants crawling on you, the vultures flying because we got vultures here in Oklahoma. There are different kind of vultures, but they're still meat eating animals. We got a lot of hawks here in Oklahoma. I think we got some pumas out here or cougars, whatever. And come to find out, we found that out today that cougars and pumas are the same animal, right? But yeah, we got different kind of species out here in Oklahoma. We seen some deer running the other day. We actually out here enjoying ourselves, man. We actually got new brothers that's coming out here enjoying the feast of the Most High God, the Feast of Tabernacles. New people, right? And new people, like some people that you see us teaching on that camera, man, some of those people come into the knowledge of the truth. Now, we don't immediately put them on the forefront, or they might be women, or they might be too young, or they might be too old. But, the Most High God's house is being filled, right? But I'm saying that to say shame on all of you that does not keep the laws, statutes, commandments, which I'm talking about the feast days included. Shame on you. And that comfort that you do not want to forsake for 7 days, just 7 days out of your life, that comfort that you don't want to forsake, the Most High God is going to make you forsake it. In fact, that's going to be one of your judgments. It's happening to forsake that comfortability, man. That comfortability, right? You couldn't come out here for a weekend. You know what I'm saying? You come out here for a weekend to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, praise the Most High God, and enjoy it with His creation, or as a memorial of what our forefathers did. You can't even do that because it takes away your comfortability. And this is how the Most High God is going to plague Egypt again with the same plague as before. He disrupt their comfortability, right? They used the Nile River for a lot of things. In fact, it was right there off of the Nile River where Egypt is. And, he caused all the fish to die and the sea turned into red and it turned into blood where they couldn't drink and they couldn't use it for different things. Export, import, export. They couldn't use it for anything, right? He took away their comfortability, or the frogs, or all of those plagues that he used of those different creatures. They all had their purpose on helping destroy the comfortability of the Egyptians. And he's going to do the same thing with the modern day Egyptians. And he told Israel, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. You come out of her by simply coming back to the Most High God in these last days. When you read Jeremiah chapter 6, right? When you read Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16, it says, thus said Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. That's why people come into the knowledge of the truth, because they're seeking who we used to be, who we were. What did we do as a people? How did we live our lives? You get it. That's the old paths on what the Most High gave us when we was in our beauty. Like the times of King David, King Solomon. That's when we was in our beauty, man. The temple was just created, or David had all the heathen in subjection to him. King Solomon, he had the temple got made, what I'm saying? Gold all in there. That's when we was at our beauty. Everything was being done right. That's when we was at our beauty, man. So it says, oh, and as for the old paths, where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. So when you coming back to the Most High God's ways, and I'm talking about his ancient ways, when you come back to those ways, you see, you'll have bees landing on your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Bees landing on your shoulder. This is uncomfortable to a lot of people. But this is the Most High God's creation. You see vultures, they're getting closer and closer. They're all up in the sky. You'll get discomfort, right? But the Most High about to make everything comfort, so why not get used to it now? And again, shame on you who knew to keep the Feast of Tabernacles and did not keep it. and you are going to get it the worst. You're going to get beating with many stripes versus somebody who don't know the law, statutes, commandments, and they're going to get beat with lesser stripes according to Yahushua HaMashiach, meaning they're going to go through less tortures and torments than somebody that knows what's going on. And I believe the one key torment that the Most High God is going to use to people who know what's going on is that very thing. You knew what was going on, and so therefore you know why you're not being fed. You know why you're not getting water. You know why you're going through toughness. You at a FEMA camp and you don't know where your wife and your children are. They done separated all y'all, all categories. They done separated, and you know that why this is happening. That's why it's going to be worse for a lot of people who know what's going on, because they knew and they had the real opportunity to make a difference, to actually follow the Most High God so that He can feed them. Right? This lesson was supposed to be over pilgrimage, right? But I wanna hold all these scriptures. I got the Jeremiah 6 and 16, Isaiah 30, and I had one more in my mind, man. I was gonna get. But yeah, like a lot of them knew what was going on. The scripture says, better it is not to know than to know. Better is it, man, I'm gonna just get it. Peter. When you go to Peter, man, 2 Peter chapter 2 and 20. It says, this is 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 20. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge is facts or information. So it says knowledge of the Lord and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach. They are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. So, and there's double to that which is when you're dealing with wisdom. That's how it's going to be for them in these last days. You thought it was tough before you came into the knowledge of the truth. Way how tough it's going to be in these last days we're approaching, where there's no food, there's no water, there's no gas, there's no electric. You're already being showed by your official government that they don't give a fuck about you. I just did the video the other day where those people are complaining they're getting denied FEMA. Who the fuck should get think about it? Who should get denied FEMA's help in a natural disaster? It's in their name that they're supposed to help. Federal Emergency Administration, something like that. But it's federal emergency. When it's an emergency, a natural disaster, they're supposed to come in and help all the people, man. That's what they're supposed to do. But they're being denied FEMA, which is benefits over there in North Carolina and in Florida. They're being denied benefits. The FBI stepped in on a press conference and says, we do not have enough money to provide for all of the people. That's bullshit. Y'all create the money. How don't y'all have enough if y'all are the ones creating the money? I'm telling you, they about to see who the devil really is, and the latter end is going to be way worse for them because they knew what they were supposed to be doing. The scripture says in Isaiah 14, I got so many scriptures going through my mind. The scripture says in Isaiah 14 and 20, it says that the ones that escape of the house of Israel shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, which is talking about Esau. How does Esau smote us? Right? When you go to Daniel chapter 8 and verse 24, when you go to Daniel chapter 8 and 24, it says, verse 24, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully. It means he's going to destroy them in a way where it seems like they're doing it to themselves. It's going to be so wonderful how he's destroying them. Everybody's going to think that it's everybody, that it's them. You know what I'm saying? Society falling because it's them. That's why people say, that's why we need to change. Nobody's saying, hey, y'all, the government is doing this to us. They're making us hate each other. They're making us retarded and docile to the facts. They're not coming to those terms. He's destroying them wonderfully. It's a beautiful image in his eyes. It says, and shall prosper and practice and shall destroy the mighty and holy people. It says, and through his policy. The word policy goes back to like the Constitution, his rules and regulations of his country. It says, and through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he Salakia. Internet connection went bad. Of course, we are here in the elements, but I do remember where I left off. Daniel chapter 8 and verse 24, where I was going into uh, how uh, through his policy, he was going to destroy a lot of people, and that's exactly what he's doing with Jake right now, oppressing the people, right? And that's what he's doing with FEMA and all of those shenanigans with that going on, actually starving them people out. So to bring it all home is we already see what kind of devil he is and the way he's treating people. So it's not going to be far fetched for him to get worse in the times that we're coming upon. The what we call the tribulation period, or even Jacob's trouble. When Jacob's trouble happened, when he put that fire on us, man, I was reading this. Let's go to First Maccabees. I think it's First Maccabees chapter 1. Might be Second Maccabees. I think it's Second Maccabees 6. See, look how close. I wish you could see how close these vultures is, like, and how huge they are. We're coming up on times where these things is gonna have so much meat to eat. And I just did a lesson on that the other day, the Final Destination, where you know he called all the birds, the fowl of the heaven, to come to the great supper of the Lord. And when you look at these birds, them is the kind of scriptures that go through your mind, man. So let me go to Maccabees 6, chapter 6. So when you read Second Maccabees chapter 6, right? Let me see. Yeah, this is Maccabees is the Greek captivity, which is the Greeks, right? Even though a lot of Jake, they follow after Greek customs, fraternity camps, all that Chi Alpha Pi, all that shit, Alpha Phi Alpha, all of that bullshit Jake be into. You know, this is what they did to us before Jake decided to join that. This is Second Maccabees chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at 8. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by suggestion of Ptolemy, which is a Grecian, against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices, like homosexuality, all the shit that P. Diddy getting busted for. That's what they talking about. When you go into the Greek god Dionysus, what P. Diddy was doing, those freak offs, that's what that's about. Those are sacrifices to Dionysus, those gods. You think they just do that shit for no reason? No, there's purposes why they do that. They do that. That's how they serve their gods. Dionysus or Bacchus, them Bacchus parties. That's what that was about. It was about big ass orgies, freak offs. When you go into Dionysus, the god, Greek god, you're gonna find the word orgies there a lot. Freak offs. So P. Diddy was taught that shit. When they released that Jeffrey Epstein list, which they didn't even think about it. Go look at the Jeffrey Epstein documentary. They didn't blast him the way that they blasted P. Diddy. We're still here this years later, and we're still waiting on the list of who was on the island with him. But Diddy somehow has 109 people that's willing to come forth and testify against him. Of him using remotes and shoving it in a and B, 9-year-olds and all that freaky shit. Man, that's Esau. The Greeks taught them that shit. Go to pedestry, ancient Greco-Roman pedestry, and you will see pedophilia was in the Greco-Roman Empire. It was all about pedophilia. It was normal for a grown-ass man to lay down with a little boy. It was normal. That shit wasn't frowned upon and looked upon. Right? So it says, this is the point I want to get. It says, and whosoever will not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. For there were these two women. It says, for there were two women brought who had circumcised their children. This is all they did. Whom when they had openly led around about the city, the babes, which is the babies, hanging at their breasts, So they hung some infant babies. They tied a rope around their neck, and then they tied a rope around her titties, and they made her parade her infant babies around, hung like that. Bro, that's some crazy shit. But this was who they was at one point in time. That spirit hasn't went anywhere. Just like us being Israelites, even though we wasn't calling ourselves Israelites, we still did things like our spirituality. We never let that go. The most cracking churches is black people churches. That was the most, not only just entertaining, but most spiritual churches is black people churches, man. To the fried chicken thing, we go over that all the time in Leviticus chapter 2, where the Most High commanded us the way we cook fried chicken. He commanded us to cook that way. You know what I'm saying? So we still was doing it even though we weren't calling ourselves Israelites, man. Just like they still are the same people. That's my point. That's bringing it home. They are still the same people, man. And they are ready to turn up. These Trump supporters, out of the blue, all of a sudden, there's a president come and he has supporters that's willing to kill on his say so. They will kill when Trump say, "Hey man, kill all of these so-called Israelites." Bro, his people are gonna go do that because they got the say so from him, and he got that kind of authority. You see how Jeffrey Epstein just disappeared? That was Trump's friend. He just disappeared. He hung himself. A billionaire hangs his. But you got niggas who ain't even millionaires or billionaires who don't even fucking hang themselves when they get life in prison, when they get exposed to pedophilia or anything like that. They don't hang themselves. But this nigga hung himself, a billionaire who really can create his own prison that he want to be in. Bro, he can put a flat screen in his shit. Bro, he can buy off the warden. Let's say they did make him stay in prison. He could buy off the warden, but they came up with a master plan. Let's say that you died, and let's harp on that you dead, and let's say case closed since you're dead. There's no point of going into this because you're dead. We can't judge you. Nah, we want that fucking list of the people who was with him so we can put all this to rest. So we can kill all of this. Where are those people that was on there with that in that island with you? Think about it. He had an island. You think it was just him and a whole bunch of minors? We talking about, bro, 10 years old, 8 years old, 7 years old. It was just Jeffrey Epstein and a whole bunch of minors, huh? Or children. Hell no, that's not what happened, man. It was a whole bunch of other government officials, judges, all kind of people that senators that actually got pulled around their state that they don't want to be exposed. Owners of companies, it might be Chevrolet, CEOs, all of that, man. They was all out there. Them was the real freak offs, and that's where P. Diddy learned it from. And I ended with that. So, for there were 2 women brought who had circumcised their children, whom they had openly led around about the city, the babies hanging at their breasts. They cast them down headlong from the wall. So after they made the women walk around with their babies hung on their chests. They would grab the woman, and throw her off the top of a wall, head first. Bro, they coming back to that spirit, man. Not even they coming back, they're about to express that spirit. Bro, it is so many vultures out here. I'm talking about 20s and 30s. 20s and 30s, man. And it's a beautiful sight because when you serving the Most High God, you're not afraid of stuff like that. Even if they was right above my head, I would be more like, this is a beautiful view versus let me move out the way before they kill me because I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. Not feel like I haven't been committing sins that's worthy of death. I haven't. And plus the Day of Atonement just came, so we guilt free. Once our guys we start over. I know I ain't did nothing crazy in within that time, but for the people that wow, somebody back there and they shook a tree, and even more just like 20 more just came out of the tree. So they already over there eating. It's a beautiful view, man. But you got a lot of people that didn't even keep it, man. We talking about people that know that they're Israelites. Like I said earlier, man, we got new people, and we always the people you see us talking to the highways and byways. Some of those people are sincere and they really hit us up and they get in tune. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean they come to camp. We don't, we kind of worn out on allowing brothers to just be a part of the leadership of the church. You know what I'm saying? We feel like we got enough brothers to handle that already. Through the spirit of the Most High God, He gave us enough brothers to handle that. No, we a small camp, we a small body, but we very powerful, man. These brothers that I got, man, they very powerful brothers, man. But yeah, man, we out here Feast of Tabernacles, and a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they don't show up. They don't keep tabernacles at all, man. A lot of people is like that. But the Most High God is gonna sort all those kind of things out. But that's what we're going over. You losing your comfortability. I'm doing a lesson. You losing your comfortability, and uh, the Most High God is gonna make us all lose our comfortability pretty soon. We're all gonna be very comfortable, and people are willing to disobey God just to stay comfortable. And the Most High God is gonna snatch everything from under you. So going back to Isaiah chapter 33, I want to bring this out again. Isaiah 33 and 14, it says, who's locking? It says, the sinners in Zion. I'm gonna start at 13. Hear ye that are afar off what I have done, and ye that are near according to my might. So understand what I can do. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with the everlasting burning? So the sinners in Zion are afraid. Our people are so afraid of going back to the Stone Age, those kind of times. They're so afraid to the point where they will work for Esau tooth and nail to make sure that that don't happen. Our people are afraid to come out here in the elements. They're afraid of birds. They're afraid of bugs crawling on them like spiders. I teach my children to embrace animals and don't just always be ready to kill them because they have their purpose just like you do. Here it is. You mad about all the killing that's going on, in the earth, but then here it is, you a part of it. They wouldn't be here if they don't have a purpose. Now, Esau have created things. You do have things that's man-made, that's created. That's a fact. But that's why if you read in the book, you would know what that is and what that ain't. So it says the sinners in Zion are afraid. It says, and there, you hear that Woody Woodpecker. It says, it says, fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites. That's what's about to happen. Fearfulness, the dread of fearfulness, the thing that they're most afraid of, is going to surprise them. Right? They claim that they love God, and they say he called them hypocrites because they claim to love God, but they won't even come out here for a weekend or for 7 days for the Most High God and keep His feast days. You know how beautiful it is being out here in the elements, away from the matrix, away from the people. Just lustful ass, weirdo ass people happen to go to Walmart. Happen to deal with all these weirdo ass people driving, weirdo ass people cutting you off. But it's just Americans just so impatient about every fucking thing. It's a blessing to be away from those kind of people. But it's a lot of people that know the truth. Right? It's a lot of people that know the knowledge of the truth, which is the facts, the information of the Bible and what they need to do to get salvation, and they don't do it. They play a lot of games. And going back to Peter, what it said, we're going to go back to that Isaiah, but I'm going to read it again because we never finished it in Peter. I ain't forgot. We ain't finished that in Peter. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 20 again. It says, for if they had escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord, remember the knowledge again, of the Lord and Savior Yahweh Shah Mashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse than them than the beginning. I broke that down earlier. But it also said, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness. It was better for you not to know what's going on. And like I was going over earlier, those are going to be the main people that's really going through tortures and torments, is because they know what they knew was going on the whole time and they did nothing, and they're going to understand why they're not getting fed. They're going to understand why they're not getting water. You know what I'm saying? Why they're not getting raiment? Why are people chasing them and they can't seem to get a break? They're going to know why this is happening. Why his wife got caught and now she's in a FEMA camp. Why y'all got separated into 3 different categories and put on 3 different buses and y'all going to 2 different places. The women's FEMA camp is all the way in Texas, and the men's FEMA camp is all the way in California, and the children's FEMA camp is all the way in Florida. There's no way you're going to see them again. You know how many brigades, garrisons, block zones, military stops, checkpoints that it's going to be in that process to trying to get your family back? This ain't no damn movie. This ain't no Red Dawn movie where you overcome at the end, man. Right? Wolverines. This ain't that. If you haven't seen that movie, you should go see it. It's about an invasion upon America. North Korea or South Korea invaded America in that movie. Right? But at the end, they overcame. That ain't what this is, man. You're going to go out horribly. And everything that you think is going to happen that's what's going to happen. There's going to be no hope for America. That's what people like to say. When they see there's no hope, they like to express that word. There's no hope for us. Right? Or God is dead. Or God has left the earth. Yeah, the spirit of the Most High God is about to leave this earth. And he's only going to sprinkle a little bit upon his elect, the ones he want to protect. All right, so it said, filthiness have surprised the hypocrites, right? But it says, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness, than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. So we go to churches, we go to the highways and byways, and we teach these people, and we get them in instructions on what they're supposed to do, like they're supposed to be asking for the old paths. And the Most High God has set up men, brethren, who's there to show them that old path, by his spirit, saying, come ye, this is the way, walk ye in it. But they chose to do what the imagines of their own heart. They're trying to serve the Most High God in a different, the way that they want to serve the Most High God, and not, the way he mapped it out to be. There's no other way. You can't, for people that say, I'm going to serve God the way I want to, you have already lost. You have lost already. Thinking you're going to serve God how you want to. That's like me coming in your house and be like, bro, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to respect your house, but I'm going to do what I want to do while I'm in here. Nah, hell nah. That's not, nah. You got to do exactly. In order to be a good servant at my house, you would have to do according to my rules. You don't break my rules. That's how you be a good servant in somebody else's house, man. Can't go in there and do whatever the hell you want just because you ain't yelling and screaming at them. Or just because you ain't bullying nobody. Nah, hell nah. So it says, but it has happened unto them according to the true proverb. The dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. So it's the first one. It says the dog is turned to his own vomit. You already know when a dog throws up, most 9 times out of 10, it's going to lick it right back up. And a sow is a pig. It says, and the sow, the pig that was washed in her wallowing in the mire, dirt. So when you give a pig a bath and you taking it back to his pen, what you think it's going to do is going to run and jump in that dirt again, in that mud. And that mud got shit all in it. You think they'll go shit in the corner because they know they got to lay there? That's another reason you ain't supposed to be eating pigs. They eat their own doo-doo. They eat, so they definitely will eat your doo-doo. They're a garbage can. What do you do with garbage? What do you do with a garbage can? You put things you do not, old food, diapers, you put shitty diapers, you put that stuff in there. And it gets taken out. That's what a pig is for, is a natural garbage can. You're not supposed to fucking eat the trash can. but people do it. And we had a recent video where he said he would disobey God for pork. And a lot of people will look at that and be like, ah, man, you tripping, you know. But here it is, they disobeying God for their comforts. No, not going out to the Feast of Tabernacles. Tabernacles is very important. Not only is it very important, we look forward to Tabernacles every year. We have so much fun being away from the Matrix, man. And the initial point of me going into this lesson was supposed to be for a pilgrimage, because when you come out here, you feel that sense of pilgrim, of being a pilgrim. You know, sleeping in a tent. You know, happen to you know, your water not being cold. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, you're not having the clothes that you want. Or, you know, you get it. You feel the pilgrimage when you out here, and you feel what it's going to be like. Even though this is a memorial of our forefathers doing this in the ancient world, we can also see what it's going to be like in the future, right? When you go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, when you go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, I'll grab my other Bible, other apocrypha. All praises to the Most High. Abaratazah, you had a good Feast of Tabernacles and actually enjoying yourself and enjoying your family and not being stuck on phones, all that weird shit. I'm using my phone to record videos, making something really useful for it. This is the only thing people should be using them for, is to do stuff like what I'm doing, right? When you out here in the elements, bro, you're not about to catch me on Facebook, bro. I'm not about to be on fucking Facebook out here. I'm not about to be watching ESPN out here. Nah, I came out here to enjoy the elements, to enjoy the Most High God's creation. You see how beautiful this is out here? We came out here to enjoy that, man. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. 16 and 40. Yeah, 16 and 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. We have to be pilgrims upon the earth pretty soon. In the days that we're coming on, the evils, right? And in this same chapter, it goes into how, matter of fact, I'm gonna just keep reading. It says, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth, because people that, you know, this is talking about, he that selleth is talking about merchants. Export, import, export. That's how you eat. Because they bringing in food and they taking out food and making trades. Revelation chapter 18, we just read it. All of those things they're not gonna be heard in Babylon anymore. Cinnamon, purple, silk that they buy, sell, and trade with. When that stuff stops, America stops. Nobody has jobs. Everybody's idle. That's when people start getting angry. People start invading each other's, you know, places of business. Then they're gonna start invading people's homes. And it's just going to be a continuously, the chaos is going to grow and grow and grow. It's going to be a dog eat dog world, like I said earlier. So it says, he that selleth, let him be as one that fleeth away. And he that buyeth, as one that will lose, right? He that occupieth merchandise, like gold, anything like that, as if he have no profit by it. There's gonna be no profit for a jeweler in the day of Jacob's trouble for Israel, or in the great tribulation period for the whole world. There's not gonna be no use for jewelry. The only gold that's gonna be valuable in that day, the most valuable, is a man being more precious than fine gold, even the gold of wedge of Ophir. It says, and he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth, as if he could not reap. So also he that planted the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. And some verses in the Bible, they're not meant to be break down. They just meant to give a better understanding. Some scriptures do not need to be broke down. Some you can read it and it says exactly that. Like, how can you break that down? It says exactly what it says. Some scriptures you have to get a sense to, though. Right? That's when we're dealing with code, or, you know, we're dealing with wisdom. There could be two meanings for it. It says, I want to show you something. It says, he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planted the vineyard, farmers, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. So everything that's going to be happening, everything people take pride in, everything people are happy about that makes the world go round, it's all going to come to a stop. Isaiah chapter 24. Read Isaiah 24 in the NLT and you will see what I'm talking about. Everything is going to come to a halt, a stop in the days we're coming upon, and it's going to force people to be pilgrims, man. It's going to get real ugly. I can get a little bit of Isaiah 24 right now. Check this out. This is Isaiah chapter 24, and this has not happened yet. That's why when people say the Old Testament is done away with, okay, so explain when this happened. Or Isaiah 63. When did Yahushua come back and do that and get blood all over his garment? We talking about from killing. That's what it says in Isaiah 63. Or Isaiah 61. When did that happen? Or Isaiah 62. When did that happen? When did in Genesis 49? We talking about Genesis means beginning. When in the book of Genesis did where it says, and a troop shall overcome Gad, but he shall overcome at the end. When did Gad come and overcome? When did Gad come and get his lick back on the conquistadors? When? On the Spanish, on the French, on the Dutch, on the German, on the Englishman. When? So there's things in Genesis that hasn't been fulfilled. There's things in the beginning of time that has not been fulfilled yet. Crazy, right? Or if the Old Testament is done away with, why do you still have birth pains? If the Old Testament is done away with, why do you still bleed then? Because that's definitely in the beginning of time. That is the beginning of time. The Old Testament is done away with, but you still have birth pains and you still have periods. You're still emotional as hell. The man still got to work from the sweat of his brow. It says, let's keep going. It says, verse 45, and therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods. Everybody that got something, you're gonna come home or you're gonna come back to this location that you used to be in at before you have to leave, and you're gonna see everything's been ransacked. All your goodies, your batteries that you had, your canned fruit or canned vegetables that you had, the beans, the rice that you had. You might have some sugar or some salt. And we just dealing with food, man. We ain't talking about your clothing. You got, oh, that's size 12. I need them. These is boots. I need them. Mine has holes in them, and it's winter. Those gloves, those hats, things that's very, very valuable. I mean, things that's really not valuable today is going to be very, very valuable in that day. It's going to be shit that people cherish today that they're not even going to be thinking about in that time that we're coming upon, like a PS5. You think niggas is going to be worrying about a PS5 in the Great Tribulation period? Hell no. Hey, it's going to come a time where they're not going to be even worried about a car because it makes too much noise and they're going to be spotted very easily. It's just going to, the things that we treat valuable right now, their value is going to go so low. And the things that we don't value, they're going to go so high. Hey, and that goes for humans too. The Israelite man is not valued. The Israelite man is not valued, but his value is going to go up and up and up when the people see more and more that what we were saying is true. So it says, for strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. That's another point. That's a scary thought for you ones that that have children and you love your children so much that you will have them breaking the Sabbath day, or you'll be bending down and bowing down to your children doing what they want to do. If they want to have a gender change, you down with that. Your children are gonna get took into captivity, and you're gonna have dirty, dusty ass Edomites. They're gonna be carrying all their luggage for them, and they're gonna be doing all kind of sexual, freaky, weird ass shit with them, and you'll never see them again because they're gonna take your children, they're gonna separate them. Like I said earlier, they're gonna separate them. Your children gonna be in Florida somewhere, and you're gonna be somewhere in Texas or California, and you're never gonna see your child again. So reading it again, their houses, it says, overthrow their houses and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, the more will I be angry with them for their sins, said the Lord. Right? And that's the majority of the world today. They deck their houses and their own self with all these different things. Everybody wants the new charger. Everybody wants a charger nowadays. Nobody is worrying about God and the plagues that he sent into this place. What makes a lot of people the most angry? And I get like myself. Let's say you found your wife been cheating on you for, let's say, 10 years. Your wife been cheating on you for 10 years. If we talking about 10 years and you don't know that this is you fucking up. 10 years and you don't know, bro. I had all this time to get my life together, because you know how women think, like maybe he don't know, and not even maybe he don't know. Maybe he will never find out, and if I stop now, I'll be ahead of the game. But they had all that 10 years to think about things like that and stop doing what they doing. Pray to the Most High, repent, confess, and really get on the right track. 10 years, and then I catch you, and you telling me sorry, and you're begging for my mercy. It's been 10 years. You're begging me for mercy. That will make me more angry. That's what's going on with the people. That's how the Most High God is looking at us. Nigga, you've been knowing the truth for all of this time, and you decided to do what you wanted to do for all this time, and then when I come through, when I catch you, meaning when I start sending these plagues, and you get caught out here, now you want to beg me for mercy? Most I said, in fact, I'm going to laugh at you. Proverbs 1. But it says, like as a whore, Salakia, like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face. When he cometh that shall defend him, that diligently searcheth out every sin upon earth. That's what the Most High is coming to do. He's coming to judge. If the Old Testament is done away with, how are you going to determine how you go into the lake of fire? What is he going to use? Now, let's think about it. When you go to jail for not having your license, when you go to court, what do they judge you off of? What determines how much money you got to pay, or if you're going to jail for the long ride or not? What determines that? Their constitution. Their constitution, their laws, their policies, their penal codes. So how much more the Father of the heavens and the earth? He has rules and regulations. He has laws. And one thing you don't want to do, man, one of the biggest ones is breaking the Sabbath, the Shabbat. He is not playing. It's so bad he killed a man for picking up sticks on the Sabbath. But here it is, you thinking just because it's one law, everything is all good. It's not all good. And when you read Deuteronomy chapter 18 and 18. Or Salakia, Deuteronomy 16 and 16. It says, 3 times in a year shall all men, all thy males appear before the Lord, thy God, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. So these 3 feast days, the Most High said, I don't care where you are, you better come back to the homeland and keep it if you know you're an Israelite. Here it is. We know we can't go nowhere. We know we can't go all the way to Israel. Where we gonna go? What temple? All that. But here it is. You trying to keep the Most High woke us up to the knowledge of the truth. You trying to keep the feast day the best way you know how with your congregation. And you got people that won't even go a couple of blocks down the street to keep it. And these same people think they're going to be saved. They ask the same things in the Old Testament. They say, man, in fact, let me get Amos. I'm trying to break this down as fluently as possible because of how serious it is, man. You don't get to not keep the feast days, the laws of God, and thinking that you still gonna be saved. That is a mental problem, man. This is Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord. So the Most High God is about to do a lot of killing of the Israelites, justified killing on Israelites that did not keep his ways, because that's how he's going to judge them according to his laws that you didn't keep, right? And according to you following his son, right? And he said he's not going to utterly destroy them. I mean, there's going to be a remnant that did keep his ways the best way they know how under the blood of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. I wouldn't even want to follow the ways of niggas that say we can't keep the laws here, because those same niggas, they are the most worldliest niggas you can like ever, because their reasoning justifies them doing sin. Christianity, they have somewhat of a sense of understanding bad things, but niggas who say I'm good because I know the Bible and I know I can't keep the laws here, so I gotta do my thing out here. I gotta do what I do out here because I can't keep the laws. Bro, you are gonna get your ass spanked by the Most High. And I don't mean, I'm talking about you're gonna get spanked bad. So it says, Salakia, brothers over there blowing the shofar. See, that's strange to the world. But when they hear that shofar, when the Most High God make that entrance, they're gonna be even more afraid. So it says, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Meaning the ones that, that's trying their best, which is the least grain, they're not going to fall upon the earth. They're not going to be ridden in the earth, according to Jeremiah chapter 17. Meaning they're going to make it out. He's going to save them. He's going to create a way for them to be saved. And we like to think of that. We like to think of that. We like to think of us as the being that. We don't claim to be mighty. We don't claim to be the only leaders of the truth, and everybody needs to listen to us. We don't move in that spirit, because the Most High God got men everywhere, man. He have 7,000 men that have not bowed down the knee to Baal. So when the Most High do expose a lot of these teachers, it's gonna seem like there's no teachers. It's gonna seem like that, but the Most High has men reserved. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. It's about the truth, man. It's only about the truth. It ain't about entertainment. It ain't about none of that other shit. It's about the truth. So let me keep going. It says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, this is the point I want to get, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Meaning ain't nothing gonna happen to us because we believe in the Lord. That's how a lot of people's spirit is gonna be in the days that we're coming upon. Well, right now. And they not preparing for the days that we're coming upon. They're going to be moving in that spirit. Like nothing ain't going to happen to us. We good. Or wherefore had the Lord pronounced this evil against us? And that's in Jeremiah. That's in the book of Jeremiah. Wherefore the Lord have pronounced all this evil against us, man. What are you talking about? Most High God. So you trying to say the Most High God don't deal with me? Man, I know the Most High God in my heart. You hear that all the time. You hear that all the time. You hear that all the time. But yeah, man, pilgrimage. This is the perfect opportunity to come out here and get to experience those those characteristics, those traits of being a pilgrim. Coming out of here not being able to take a shower the way that you want to, you enclosed in your shower and you feel very comfortable. All of those things about to get taken away. All of those things where you're going to be uncomfortable and you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to adapt to being uncomfortable. Now, I'm reading this book. It's called Conquistadors to Pueblos, right? Conquistadors and Pueblos. This is about the conquistadors is the white man, the Spanish, the Dutch, the German, the French, the Englishmen. That's these people. They're the conquistadors. And Pueblos, it just means villages. Because I was reading in this book and I actually ran across this today, and it says this. You see what I'm saying? Even when people come out here, they got them big ass dirt bike cars. You know what I'm saying? They can't come out here and enjoy the elements. They always got to bring Esau's technology out here with them, or it's boring. It's not fun. They're gonna be ready to go home. Like we seen a couple out here. They went fishing, but they fished for like 20 minutes and then they packed up and left. 20 minutes. Y'all came all the way out here for 20 minutes. People is just uncomfortable. It's boring. They want to be able to say, yeah, we be going fishing, or yeah, we do this, or yeah, we do that. But they're not really enjoying it. Right? So it says, this is Conquistadors de Pueblos, page 56. The Spaniards who found them living here called them pueblos, from the Spanish word pueblo, meaning town or village. They could not reduce the great cliff cities they had inhabited on the plateaus. So it says the word for pueblo means villages or towns, right? And in these villages and towns, right? Let's see what would happen. Slocky, I just had it. In these villages and towns, this is what happened. Right here. I could have just stayed. It was on the same page. So if I drop down a little bit, it says, so the Pueblos adapted their skill to what the new environment offered for building. That was clay or mud, which mixed with brush or the straw of dried grass, produced a material called adobe. Now, they are adapting to wherever they are, and which pretty soon we're all going to have to do that. But why not prepare for stuff like that? Why not get you some 7-in-1 shovels? Prepare for that time. That's what we did. We got 7-in-1 shovels where you can use 7 different things with this one shovel. Right? You can turn it into to dig dirt, to crop. You can use it to pinch at the dirt. There's different ways you can use it. You know what I'm saying? You can use it as a sword because it's very sharp on one end. Right? You can use it for 7 different things in this one shovel. And we bought a couple of them. You can use them for predominantly why I got them, and it's gonna sound funny, but for when you take a shit, when you take a poop, you have to go outside the camp, meaning away from the congregation that you with. You have to go far out and you have to dig a hole and you have to poop in the hole and you have to bury the hole. Now, if you don't have a shovel, how are you going to do that? You're going to use a stick. Now you can, but it's going to be way more difficult. Way more difficult. So why not get a shovel? What's wrong with a bug out bag? Nothing is wrong. You should get you and your family a bug out bag. This does not mean that you don't have faith. It means you're using your faith. Faith without works is dead. Meaning you believe that this tribulation is coming. You got faith that it's coming, so you're preparing for it. It's just that simple. You're preparing for it. You have faith. That's just like saying Noah didn't have faith even though he knew it was about to rain. He ain't have faith, man. He built an ark. What? You think Noah didn't have stuff that he created to put in the ark too? Now he ain't have faith though. That don't make sense, man. I'm telling you, it's wise, it's prudent to have you a couple of things on the side, a couple of bags of beans or rice, or both, extra salt, pepper, things like that. You need these kind of things. You need these things in the times we're coming upon. Right? You need to know what's the good salt. Imagine you grabbed your bug out bag and you grab your little food canisters. You need pots. You know what I'm saying? You got your food canister, and I'm gonna say this too. The Most High might not even allow us to take that stuff. That's cool. That's it's his story. It's about him. So that's cool. We're gonna leave without it. Straight up. But we prepared, we prepare for a lot of stuff. It don't go the way we want it to go. That don't mean the Most High ain't with us. But for you people that's not keeping it, you gonna know the Most High ain't with you, and that stuff is gonna be happening to you. Calamities on top of calamities. And he told you in Proverbs 1, he's gonna laugh at your calamities, man. So what my point was, imagine you leaving and you got your bug out bag and you take your little condiments with you and you got Morton salt. The regular white salt, that shit is horrible. Original salt is pink. It's called Himalaya salt. Sea salt is better than regular salt. Sound like Edom might keep yelling over in that wooded area. That'd be crazy. But that Morton salt, that white salt, that's horrible salt. Himalaya salt. That's very good to use. Himalaya salt is healthy salt. You got salt that's really healthy for you. When Jay go to the hospital, they be having high blood pressure and shit. It's not only that they eat too much salt, they eat the wrong salt. That Morton salt with that white woman on there with that umbrella, don't get that salt. That's horrible ass salt to get. That is horrible salt to get, man. Get you some Himalaya salt, get you some different sea salt, get you something like that, man. That'll help you out way much more on your diet. Right? But Jake is gonna and it dehydrates you. If you ain't know that. That Morton salt, it dehydrates you. Imagine taking that and you putting salt on all your food for that period of time until you run out, and then you dehydrate it. Your body is full of salt and you're dehydrated and there's no water. You don't got regular water. So you stuck out here. You look like a damn goofy. And you gonna good well know that the Most High God he have left. He have left the building. Straight up. These are the times that we're coming upon. So let me keep going. It says, so the Pueblos adapted their skills to what the new environment offered for building. That was clay or mud, which, mixed with brush or the straw of dried grasses, produced a material called adobe. It hardened in the arid climate to make an excellent substitute for stone. So at first they was in a place where they had stones. They was living in stone like rocks, caves, and they was inhabiting 500 to 400 people in these caves. And then they got chased out by the white man, and it said that they adapted to the new skills and they substituted those stones and they created hard like stone substances as as a building process to build houses. They adapted to their environment. Pretty soon we're gonna have to adapt to our environment. But how can you adapt to something that you've never had to deal with before? You never even, when I say that, I'm talking about making it so hard upon yourself. You know what I'm saying? Why not come out here and have to deal with certain things? And like I said earlier, Zion, he's a nature boy, but not that nature boy everybody know of. But he's a real nature boy. He like to he grow his own fruits and vegetation. He grow his own uh not he grows on, but he like to start fires without lighters. Things like that is very useful, and those men are going to be kings pretty soon. The days that we're coming upon, those are the men that's going to live like kings. So, ladies, again, you want to get your woman. I mean, you want to get a man that has understanding. You want to get you a man that has understanding in those kind of areas. I know gangsta ass, drug dealing kingpins, scamming cards ass niggas, because them niggas is gonna be the first ones to go out like suckers. Them is gonna be the niggas that's abandoning their baby mama and their kids because they feel like they better off, because the kid won't stop crying, or because his girl too scared, or because he's too damn scared. That's the trend nowadays. Niggas who got all this jewelry on and that don't know shit. That's the new trend, right? The Israelite man is very devalued. And these dumb, wicked niggas are very highly valued. These niggas be doing it to other niggas and women like that. Ain't that crazy? No morals, no nothing. And these women like that until they get mad, of course. Then they want to expose them. But before that, they like them. These niggas is getting a fucking rectum ate by a woman or a man. It don't fucking matter. They're getting their rectum ate or licked by a woman, by a girl. And the girls are exposing them when they get mad. They're actually exposing these niggas for it. They're exposing these niggas for it. But these effeminate ass niggas are gonna be forsaking these same women. And these women gonna be out here. And you know, Isaiah 4:1, that's when it's gonna come into flourish. Because ultimately these niggas is gonna die when they forsake their houses. They're gonna die anyway, but you know. But it says, let's keep going. It says, and with the Adobe, the builders repeated the distinct features of their former dwellings. And that's what we gotta do. When we come out here, if you look, you know, when we come out here, we got tents, of course, but the tents and us burning wood, we got people burning wood, we got people gathering wood, we got people burning it. Everybody still got they distinct features of when we had civilization in America. You know, everybody got meaning everybody got jobs still. You keep watch. You go get the wood. You make sure the wood stay burning. You make sure that you know, we got meat. You make sure that, you know what I'm saying, everybody still gonna have their job. That's prudent. That's being wise. Everybody gonna have their jobs. Straight up. But it says, wet earth was poured between poles set close together in double rows, and the faces of the walls were built up with adobe, padded and puddled into place. So they would get poles and they would get rows. So the white man made it seem like the Native Americans and Hispanics didn't have a civilization. They was out here being cannibals and all this. But in this book, you read the facts. They the one, when they came over here, there was already houses here. There was already houses here, not fucking teepees. Now, you did have different Native American tribes that had teepees, and teepees is what they used to travel with, because like the Kiowa tribe, they didn't like to stay in one place. So they would always have teepees and they would travel. And how is it funny how Esau always showed Native Americans living in teepees like they brought them civilization or something. But when you read in this book, it don't tell us that. It says, wet earth was poured between poles set close together. There's poles set close together in double rows. So you had poles, then you had another pole, and they would put that stuff that they was making into stone that they used to have. They would put this in between of them to make a wall. It says, and the faces of the walls were built up with adobe, padded and puddled into place. Layers were allowed to dry until a wall was thick enough to support beams, right? It says, which is, you know, heat rate beams. So, oh my, yeah. Hey, hey, woo, woo. I look up. Look up. Man, it's beautiful out here, man. It is so beautiful. What I was talking about last time, all those birds last year, it's a time. Every time we come out here, there's a whole bunch of white, beautiful birds, and they are everywhere. And I wish I know it's not gonna do nothing. If I try to show you, you might can see them in the background. Those is birds back there. You can look up there. Those birds is everywhere flying. Abarazas, you can see them, but they are everywhere, especially right here in this corner. But going back to the lesson, it's beautiful being out here amongst stuff like this, man. All praises to the Most High God. All right. But going back to this, It says, uh, over with which cross timbers were laid and plastered applied to make the ceiling and a roof. So they had walls that they built, and then they would have a roof that they built over it, which would serve as a floor for both a terrace and a second story. Thus, one terraced apartment rose upon another to the height of 3 or 4 stories. They had 4 stories, 4-story apartments, man. It says, and all were reached by ladders. Like I said, the white man tell us that they came over and it was just a whole bunch of grass huts everywhere. But then here it is, they had whole apartments and mansions in the 1400s. So this is, well, in the 1200s. So this is before Esau even came over here. They had this established. Man, these birds is everywhere, dude. I'm talking about everywhere. It says, Salaki, it says, in these communities, houses, each family had its own room or rooms. The only entrance was through a hatchway by means of a ladder, and each family prepared its own food over pit fires on the floor. But when you read this book right here, the devastation of the Indies, they justify slaughtering them, saying that they was barbarians, saying that they ate their food raw. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just do it. They said they ate their food raw. It says, this is Devastation of the Indies, page 16. The European confrontation with the Aztecs did the most to fuel arguments that American Indians were essentially barbarians. The Aztecs' practice of human sacrifice generally horrified the Spanish and led some to believe, if God could live in the Indies, so could the devil. You see that? So they was trying to make it seem like they was barbarians when they came over here. But this book is telling us that when they came over here in parts, they had a whole civilization, like what we look at today, just without the damn lights and AC conditioners and all that. They had their own way of having AC conditioners. We was talking about it earlier, going all the way back to the Egyptians, where they would dig holes, tunnels, like long tunnels inside the dirt, and cool air came from it. Cool air. Like when you dig a 6 feet deep hole and you jump in it, it's cool in there. It's real cool, especially when you bury the dirt over you again. It's very cool in that, right? Officer Tahawam, he was explaining how the Egyptians was making ice back then. They was making ice cubes back then. Do you know how hot it is in Egypt every single day? It don't snow in Egypt. So they had ice out there. I'm telling you, there's ways to adapt without having to everybody being absorbed by all this technology. You got some niggas, they so absorbed with technology, they'll sit in their car all day because it has a charger, it has chairs. You sit, you can pull off whenever you want. You can go to the store, you can go here, you can do all this shit, and they'll just post up in their car. Just so comfortable, man. Let alone a house and everything else that come with that. So I'm gonna finish this off. It says, the smoke went through the hatch or out small openings in the walls, which provided some ventilation, and at the time of hostilities functions as portholes through which arrows were shot. You see that? So they even had a ventilation system to where they was cooking and it got too smoky. They had a hole in the top of the ceiling on the left, right hand corner or whatever, and the smoke would be going out the hole, man. That crazy. It was already civilization here, but the point is they adapted. They adapted to where they had to go. They adapted to this different habitat that they had to live in, and we're gonna have to do the same thing pretty soon. And I hope you're ready for that. It ain't nothing we can physically get ready for ever, but mentally and spiritually we need to be preparing for it. You need to be coming out here and Tabernacles will give you that great sense of how it's gonna be pretty soon. You always had them thoughts in your head like, man, I'm ready to go home. But you got to fight those thoughts and understand that the earth is your home. Everywhere, every land you step on, that is your home. The headquarters is Jerusalem, though. But this whole earth is your home. You shouldn't be condensing yourself to one house and you got the whole earth to own. That don't make sense, man. So Abarat desire you was edify, man, even if it's just a little bit. Let me get back to 16 and 40. Yeah, I was done with 16 and 40. What did I have after that? Oh, yeah, 1 Corinthians 4. Because I wanted to touch on too how Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, he said he didn't have nowhere to live. Paul, he explained that he didn't have nowhere to live. Right? These men was pilgrims on the earth. They didn't have no set home where they lived at. We talking about Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, who we supposed to be following. Now, I'm not saying go and forsake your home. I'm saying you have to understand what it's like being an Israelite. Abraham, the brothers just brought that out in class earlier. Let me go back to that. I want to get that. So this is Hebrews chapter 11 and verse. Let me see. 8, 11 and 8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, which is the land of Canaan, obeyed and went out, not knowing whither he went. So he didn't know what it was ultimately going to end like when he went, when he obeyed. Like we're supposed to obey coming out here to the Feast of Tabernacles. If you notice, brothers go out to wilderness type environments to camp. That's the memorial of it. Now, if you have to keep it in your backyard, then do that. But if you don't and you just don't want to be around other congregation, family members and, brotherhoods, men and their families, then what the fuck make you think you're going to make it into the kingdom of heaven when these same families is going to be at? You don't get to just skip the whole process and be a loner the whole process until we get into the kingdom. Or you using excuses as camps is wicked or whatever the case is, but here it is, you being the loner the way that you are, that's wicked as hell too. You got these excuses, man, that's not going to slide. So let's keep going. It says, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed and went out, not knowing whither he went. It's better to obey the Most High God than to sacrifice. It's better to obey, and he told you to go out and dwell in booths, in wilderness type environments. That's how you obey the Most High. You don't get to do it the way you want to, man. The Most High know your heart, though. You know what I'm saying? If you using this excuse of you can't make it, you know what I'm saying, but you ain't, but you really can. He know your heart, and he gonna judge you according to that, right? Because a lot of y'all's excuses ain't even for real. Just because, and that don't mean the Most High gonna accept it either. If you got the means to go out and actually go dwell in booths somewhere with a congregation and you choose not to, the Most High God he could get rid of you over that. He can do whatever he wants to, man. But let's keep going. It says, by faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles, dwelling in booths. That's what Abraham did. And guess what? Abraham adapted because he stayed there, obviously. Right? And that's where the covenants was made. So he trusted in the Most High. He obeyed the Most High. And he went and did what he said. He wasn't afraid of bugs. He wasn't afraid of wild beasts. He wasn't afraid of the foul, meat-eating fowls of the heavens. He wasn't afraid of the people. He did what the Most High told him to do. And he got greatly rewarded with all kind of substance to the point where he had to separate from Lot because he had so much substance that he get passed down to Isaac. And Isaac passed down to Jacob. It had so much substance, man. It had everything that they desired, man, and needed. Simply obeying the Most High God. But we're coming up in times where, people are going to get, their comfortability going to get taken away from them. All that comfortability you got, in fact, he going to take it away from you, man. He going to use it against you. And that's in the book of Sirach, chapter 39, if I can get that, before I continue this. I'm gonna get back to the Paul thing too. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Yeah, I got it. This is Sirach 39 and 28. It says, I'm gonna start up. I'm gonna start at 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. So all the evil shit that happened on the earth, it was created for sinners. The very things you are afraid of, that is why you don't go to certain neighborhoods and why you don't do certain things, those things were created for you. And you are going to meet your fate at dealing with those things pretty soon because you choose to disobey the Most High God. But the good things that was created from the beginning, from your spouse, you laying down with your spouse and not treating it like it's an animal type thing. You know what I'm saying? You actually laying down with your spouse or spouses, a man, I'm specifically talking about, or like I said, you're not treating it like an animal, meaning you're not just having sex with whoever, whatever, just because she got a fat ass and she got a chest, or she having sex with him because he got money and because he got a penthouse. But you actually honoring your marriages. You know what I'm saying? That's good for the good. Good things for the good, and everything else that man have created. The Most High God allow us to enjoy those kind of things, but sinners, they don't get to enjoy them. Niggas be out here selling drugs to their own people, and they be popping and shit for a good 4 months. Then they gone. You never see them again. Nobody's throwing them, giving them letters. Nobody's writing letters. Nobody's texting them, calling them, making sure they okay. Nobody's doing none of that. Evil things was for sinners, man. Prison. So it says, verse 25. We have verse 26. It says the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are created good to the godly. So to sinners, they are turned into evil. The Most High God is going to turn all these things around and use these things against these people pretty soon, whether they believe it or not. Like I said again, if you knew you were supposed to keep the Feast of Tabernacles and you didn't keep it, bruh, shame on you, and the Most High gonna judge you accordingly. That's a fact, man. How you gonna know what to do and don't do it and thinking everything is all good? You should be the most scared person on earth. Straight up. Like you got certain brothers that, like, I'm not about to go. I will if I really offended somebody in the world. When it comes to me rebuking them sharply, the Day of Atonement, you make your daily rounds where you have to apologize to people, make sure you're in good standings, so everything can be absorbed and forgiven. Everything, your offenses and the Most High God, you offending the Most High God and you offending your brothers and your sisters. So you hit them up and you apologize to them, and you got brothers that you think that was in the truth. You texting them and you like, you apologize for this if you ever disrespected or offended them, so and so, so and so. And they be like, damn, when was the Day of Atonement? And you'll be like, what? What? That's crazy, man. But you really got those situations happening. Those things are really going on, man. Those things are really going on, man. But all of these things are going to be turned into evil. They're not going to be able to enjoy them pretty soon the way they are now. All that food, these blogs they be doing where they be eating these different foods, eating these giant crab leg meals and balloon pop challenges with these women and balloon pop challenges with these men. All that shit about to come to naught. All that's about to come to a horrible cease. The scripture says none of those things are going to be found in her no more. The voice of mirth is not going to be found in this place no more. Mirth is partying, happy, gladness. Hey, the voice of the bride and the bridegroom is not going to be heard no more. Marriages, all these things are going to come to a halt. And it's going to be a punishment to the people because they wanted to live in those comforts instead of obeying the Most High. Now, we do some of those things and we still enjoy the acknowledgement of the Most High God. But a lot of people, they know they can't do both. So they have found reasons to disregard what the Bible is saying so that they can keep enjoying those comfortability lusts, man. Hey, and it leads me to another scripture. This is the last scripture I'm going to get on it, and I'm going to go into how Paul and Yahushua was homeless. So Ecclesiastes chapter 8, right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, and I'm going to start 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. The people are not being punished, so therefore they are used to indulging in their sins on a daily basis. It says, though a sinner do evil 100 times, yes sir, so on, 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it will be well with them that fear of God, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. Meaning they're going to die at an early age. You think 40 and 50 is living a long life? 40, 50 years old? That's like, okay, what about, let's use this scenario. You get 40 or 50, it's 40, $50 a lot? No, it's not. So you thinking about 40 years of your life. That's not a lot of time. Now it's a lot of time to serve if we talk about prison, but that's the only thing you can think of. But when we talking about living your life and actually enjoying the earth and wanting to do things, and you only was given 40 years to do that, everything, you're not going to be able to search out everything you want. I'm not talking about of just pleasures. I'm talking about you still got to work. You still have children. You still, you still got these daily things every day. But 40 years, that's not that long, man. Because what? Let's say 25 years, you got to get that to working to be able to enjoy the last 10 of your life. And that is real talk. That is how it goes. It's not that long. So he's not going to prolong those days. That's what we're talking about in Ecclesiastes. Your days are not going to be prolonged. You're dying at 40 and 50 years old. You're dying at 30 and 20 years old. You're dying as teenagers. All these things are happening and people ain't even considering it. Like, you got niggas that's dying at this young, especially in Chicago, California, Texas, Florida. These niggas are slaughtering each other. Esau has given them enough money to slaughter each other. Esau already know. I mean, we know this. If you want to kill somebody, let's say a crackhead. If I wanted to kill this crackhead, you know what I would do? I would give this nigga $500. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna go smoke rocks until his heart pops. He's gonna smoke the hell out of rocks. So imagine Esau giving us all the things that destroy us. That's how he's doing it. He's giving us all this money knowing we're not gonna do what we gotta do with it. What you mean? Invest in our people, invest in our civilization, our society, build stuff for us. And when we do, he put us, he set us back on the track he wants us to be on, meaning kill our leader. Right? But they can't do that when it comes to the knowledge of the truth. The Most High is not gonna allow that. So you don't have no excuses. You don't got no excuse. So 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 11. I'm gonna start at 10. For we are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but ye are wise in Hamashiach. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. And that's how we look. We look like fools out here. We're despised out here. We look weak out here to the people. I know that ain't no boy out there from Wilson High School or Wilson Middle School. I know that ain't bro out there. Hell yeah, that is, bro. What's up? But then they talking about you over there. They like, bro, this nigga look like a clown now. That's what he grown up to be. Like, you chose that for your life. That's how you know. That's when a carnal person is talking. That's how you know they really are not spiritual people. We didn't choose this for ourselves. And we talking about all the scoffers, like, nigga, like, I chose to be an Israelite. Here it is. You know for a fact that you was chosen to be an Israelite, but you think I chose to be an Israelite. No, I'm here because I was chosen. So 1 Corinthians 4 and 11 now. Even unto this present hour, we are both hungry. So Paul is explaining how he's hungry. He needs food. It says, and thirst, and are naked, and are buffeted, and have no certain dwelling place. So Paul is explaining how him and Mark or him and Luke was hungry. They didn't have a house. They didn't have no dwelling place. So it's in the Bible where we dealt with these situations, man. I ain't even don't forget about the Hebrews. We read about Abraham. This happened in the beginning of time. It happened in the time of Paul and Yahushua. These things happen straight up. And these things are going to happen on a national scale pretty soon. Right? It's going to be about the have and the have nots. It's going to be about, when I say halves, I ain't talking about I ain't talking about certain celebrities, man. Like, who can I think of? No. Okay. I ain't talking about certain celebrities that got a couple $1,000,000. I'm talking about like you halves or billionaires, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, uh, uh, Shalom, men like that. Those are the halves, and everybody under them are the have-nots. And a lot of those people are gonna become homeless, man. A lot of those people gonna get down with the program until that even fails. But a lot of people are about to become homeless, man, and we have to prepare ourselves for that, man. We have to prepare for that. Mentally and spiritually, we have to get ready for that. Even Paul said that they was hungry. Even Paul said they was hungry and they didn't have nowhere to live, man. So we all have to prepare for that. Yahushua said the same thing, man. He says the foxes have holes in but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. Roughly paraphrasing, he didn't have no dwelling place. But guess what? They adapted. They adapted, man. I'm sure it was a time where they did have a home. I'm sure Paul had a home when he was Saul, the Hebrew of Hebrews. I'm sure. But when he became Paul, when he came into the knowledge of the truth, all that stuff got taken away. And that's how it is when you come to serve the Most High God. Prepare your soul for some temptation, meaning Satan is going to take away everything that he gave you, and that's just what it is. But dealing with the lesson, man, it really looks beautiful out here now, man. All praises to the Most High God. But man, we just gotta prepare for times like this. Like I said, I told myself I was gonna come out here and do a lesson touching on pilgrimage, because this is the vibe that you get when you come out here and you dwelling in booths, you dwelling in tabernacles. You get the pilgrimage vibes. And a lot of people, they don't want to be in situations like this because it's uncomfortable. And not, they know that it's gonna get way worse than this, man. You can't do this for God, the Most High God ain't gonna do nothing for you. And I can close out with that. Isaiah chapter 65, right? So in Isaiah chapter 65 and 13, this is what, no, 12. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear. But did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. And that's the majority of the world right now. They do everything that's against the moral code or what the Most High told us to do as humans, as Israelites. They do the total opposite, man. You got women nowadays, not only that they transgression and being whores, harlots, but they the biggest desire, and there's actually statistics on this, where women's desire nowadays is to play in touch with another woman. That's their biggest desires nowadays. How the fuck is that your biggest desire? That's the most curious thing about you, that you've never been with a woman. Why are you thinking that? It ain't, what I'm saying, being a great uh, you know, whatever. Is, you curious on, what it feels like to be with another woman. Or the statistics in America from the age 15 to 48, from 15 to 48, I think it's like 80 something percent, it might be 78% of Americans, these women have a baby already. From 15 to 48, 78% have. So you can just imagine what the other 22 or 32% is. It's women that's under that 15 and women that's over 48. which is crazy, man. There's no virgins here. This is a lustful ass generation to where your uncle and your daddy and your uncle are popping their own daughters and their own nieces and shit. Have you heard of some of the shit out here in councils where I can see why our forefathers would rip their clothes and they would pour ashes on their head and they put burlap on and they would mourn. I can see why. The shit you be hearing in councils, you'd be like, wow, wow. The shit niggas be doing, you know what I'm saying? The wickedness these niggas be doing is just like amazing. And I don't mean that in a good way. So it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So look at it like this. The days that we're coming upon when we're dealing with this pilgrimage, if, just put it like this, if these days come to where we have to be pilgrims on our earth, and you have to admit and you have to agree that the Most High also said, because the Most High said it. So you have to agree and admit the Most High said it was going to happen. And you have to agree and admit the Most High said he was going to take care of you too. You have to agree and you have to admit to that. If not, you're a hypocrite, literally. You're a hypocrite if you can't agree to that. He told you this was going to, this chaotic time was going to happen. This chaotic period is going to happen. And it happened. So if he tell you, no, I'm going to take care of you in those times too, you have to believe that or you're a hypocrite. So he says, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. My servant shall rejoice, and you shall be ashamed. So it's also going to be rejoicing times in that day also. 2 Ezra chapter 13 and 16 through 20, he said that in those times, there's going to be pleasures in the time of Jacob's trouble in the great tribulation period. He said it's better for you to live and through those dangers than to die, because you're not going to be able to see or enjoy the pleasures that the Most High God has set forth for the people that love him. I want to see what he got for us in that day. When he say we hungry, the ones that, you know, that serve him, they're going to eat. Bro, we're going to be eating real food, not this GMO bio-engineered ass food. We're going to be drinking real water, not water that's being polluted in these water bottles, man. It says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Meaning you're going to be wanting the Most High God to redeem you, give you another chance, to heal you, to save you, to help you. And it's not going to happen. And a lot of you people, brothers and families, are going to know that the Most High God is not going to deliver you because you broke his laws, statutes, and commandments. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and 24. If you just sit here and let atonement pass, you sit here and let tabernacles pass, you just sit here and let Feast of Trumpets pass, you are a sinner. You are a sinner. And I got something for you sinners. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 24. He says, woe to them that sin. No, I'm going to start at 23. The fire is gone forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. This is an allegory or a metaphor, meaning I'm going to devour the sinners. I'm going to beat the hell out of the sinners. I am going to put them through so much pain and agony that it's going to look like a fire is burning up straw. Do fire show mercy to straw? Hell no, it burns and consumes it all the way up to ashes, till there's nothing else to burn, and then the fire goes out. That's how the Most High is going to put fire, and I'm talking about literal and metaphoric fire on the people. I mean, it's hell. You know, hell goes back to, you know, fire, and fire is, you know, trials and tribulations, pain and agony he's going to put on people. Remember, we just read how all the evil that's on the earth is for sinners in Sirach 39 and 23. But let me keep going. It says, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, said Yahweh. I will not spare them. You're not going to get spared. No matter if you're crying up to the heavens, what did I do? or please help me, he's just a kid, or my grandma's gonna die, she need oxygen. I will not spare you. You're not getting spared, and the Most High is not a man where he should lie. We the ones who say, you know what, I ain't helping you do shit else. And then you see him going through shit, and then you come and help him. Because you feeling bad, you feeling sorry. That's not Yahweh. He's gonna let you die. He's gonna watch you die. He's gonna laugh at you dying. That's what it says. It says, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore deliver he them unto death and destruction. See that? The Most High already know who's sinning. He already know if you didn't want to keep tabernacles from the beginning, from the time you came into the truth. He already knew you didn't want to dwell in booths. Here it is, you in the church learning about God, and then you hear about the real God, and you know to do it, but then you don't do it, bro. You are a double jeopardy sinner. You are in trouble. All right, so it says, now you have people that can't come out here. You got people that's in wheelchairs, or you got people that need to be on breathing machines, but they still keep it to the best of their ability, or they keep it at home or in their backyard. Man, if it's that bad, bro, pull up the tent in your front room or something. The Bible says you got to dwell in tents and booths. You got to show some kind of acknowledgement to the Most High. You can't just make up an excuse. In the Bible, Paul's friend, he was not sick, nigh unto death, and he still went and taught the word of God to the church. So understand that, man. There's no excuses, man. You got the elders and apostles and the brothers that be, back aching. They got migraine headaches. They got toothaches. They got all these things going on, and they still preach the word of God without no excuses. But you got these young, able-bodied brothers who make up all these excuses why they can't go dwell in booths, out in a so-called wilderness type environment. Damn, for 2 days or for 7 days, 8 days. So it says, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and famine is a part of that, to where they shall be invading one another, to where you're going to have to leave your home, to where you're going to have to be a pilgrim. Oh, there goes some deers. Is that a deer or a wolf? The hell? I ain't never seen no deer run back and stay there in the bushes like that. Usually they'll keep running back farther and farther, but that thing was not doing that. But going back to my point, all the plagues that the Lord is going to send, and he said he's going to send them in the last days. If you read verse as before, verse 5, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. When you drop down a little bit, and it's in blood, behold, my people led to the flock, I will not suffer them in Egypt. I will bring them. It says, verse 11, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy the land thereof. So the same way he destroyed the ancient Egypt, he's going to destroy the modern day Egypt. And the only modern day Egypt you know about is America, Babylon the Great. He said he's going to smite them with the same plagues as before. Take away their food. He's going to kill all, he killed all their firstborn then, but he's going to kill their children against this go around. In fact, in Revelation chapter 18, where it talks about America being destroyed, it says that he's going to give them double. They're going to get double. He commanded the angel to give them double. This is times we're coming upon, man. And these people ain't ready for that. They're not ready for that. But he said he's going to bring all the plagues that he can't use on Egypt. Let me finish that out, matter of fact. It says, It says 15 and 27, second Esdras. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for God shall not deliver you because you have sinned against him. And we can close it out right then and there. The Most High God says, you're going to remain in these plagues. You're going to be a part of these plagues. These plagues have to destroy somebody, and they're going to be you because you did not, because you sinned against God. Like I said, if you sit there and let atonement pass, you sit there and let Feast of Trumpets pass, you sit there and let Tabernacles pass, these plagues that the Lord is sending on Egypt, you are a part, you're going to be a part of that. These are for you. And we will what the Most High God is with. So all praises to the Most High God, man. Lord willing, he was edified. I want to give Kohala Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah, for giving me the spirit and power to do this lesson. Until next time, Shalom.